as the only non-Marine in your family
Yes.
who can't do the 3 pull-ups,
I feel totally
I think
qualified.
you should.
As somebody who would wash out with the 50% of women who did wash out. The Commandant of the Marine Corps has announced that they're going to delay the implementation of new rules requiring female Marines to do a certain number of pull-ups because 50% of female Marines wouldn't meet the requirement. They wouldn't be able to do it.
Well, first of all, pull-ups are really hard.
Yeah.
I think it's impressive that 50% of the women could do 3 pull-ups. 3 pull-ups
I
is
agree.
really hard.
Yeah.
But I mean, imagine like the rain scene at the beginning of G.I. Jane, at the end when she's like going through the obstacle course and is all covered in mud, and then she gets like to the 2/3 mark and she's like, "All right, I'm done," and all the dudes just keep on going. It would really lose the drama of the scene.
I don't think we should change it for social engineering purposes. I think the question should be, what makes the Marine Corps better? What makes America stronger?
For once in my life, I think I'm going to agree with Bedford here, unfortunately, but that, I don't necessarily think that they should change the standards to include more women just so there can be more female Marines. That's ridiculous. They should be able to uphold the standards, as Bedford said, of the 50% of the women that are capable of doing it. That means that there are other women that can do it.
Turns out men and women are different, people.
The more you know.
So Bill de Blasio's first big move as mayor of New York City is to ban the iconic horse-drawn carriages of Central Park. Bigler, is this just part of his plan to tear down the Western capitalist?
No, and I completely agree with him. It makes me so sad. Horses are supposed to be in the wild, not next to honking cabs and screeching New York traffic and exhaust pipes, and it makes me really
Horses
sad.
aren't supposed to be in the wild. They were domesticated and brought here by the Spanish. They're beasts of burden. You see the horses, sometimes they don't look really happy. But have you ever seen a happy-looking horse driver?
Have you ever
humans
seen...
don't look too happy either.
Have you ever seen a
cab driver?
happy-looking horse? Anywhere. Like, do they,
From
at
a
the
distance, like frolicking.
I mean,
That's what they should be doing. Frolicking.
And the ones that don't have room to frolic or people don't want to pay for, should be dog food?
How many pull-ups
No.
does a horse have to do to be in Central Park?
I just feel really bad for the struggling buggy whip industry, which is finally going to have the final nails put in its coffin.
To go for a ride on a horse-drawn carriage in Central Park when it's snowing is beautiful, it's traditional. Aren't we essentially taking away one more little pleasure of life that doesn't have to do with playing video games?
How often do you go to New York and go on one of those?
Oh, I would never do it.
Exactly.
I wouldn't do it, but
I would
we are
defend
better
your
off.
right to... Have we completely forgotten the role of animals in society? Yesterday in the office, I got in like a yelling
I don't
with
want to
people
talk about...
who think that dogs should sleep in humans' beds, and I'm a monster for saying no. Now we're
You
getting
are
into a
a
fight that
monster for
says
saying
dogs,
no.
Horses shouldn't pull carriages. Like, what the heck is the point of a
Taylor,
horse?
you do realize, the end result of ending horse-drawn carriages is that all of the horses will be slaughtered.
Maybe. That's... maybe.
Maybe.
Okay.
Pretty
That's like a hypothetical.
It's a high probability hypothetical. What about horse-mounted New York City cops?
Segways. The future of America is fat cops and Segways and Marines who can't do pull-ups.